missing, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. I'm Big Q. I'm in the building with the family members. Hope y'all had a fantastic weekend. Happy Monday to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of the Coma, man. Saints announced a bevy of roster moves after the loss, Saturday night loss to the Houston Texans, which if you check their media is almost like they won the Super Bowl. And I understand it, man. When you're a bad team, and you got a new coach and the low prospects, of them. So they'll celebrate any victory they can get. So shout out to the Texan family members. And their team showed a little bit more heart than ours, their backups anyway, to get the victory. So we're going to talk about the good and bad in that game after we talk about some of the announcements that the Saints released via their website, NewOrleansSaints.com. We're also going to go over some latest information coming out with Alvin Kamara. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you the training camp schedule once again to kind of fortify the family members, to make them remember where we at in terms of the schedule. And we're going to talk about a couple of the rankings of the top 100 so far, with Alvin Kamara being very not positioned where he was supposed to be. Cam, after coming off a really good season last year, is back at that thing again. So a lot of peculiar things going on, but we in this mug. So shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the live stream. JT, shout out to you. GM Kev, Brandon, Joe Wiley, brother Jerry, that OG's in the building. Be kind. Stacy Anderson, Robert Clark, Pelicans, Nola. Good to see y'all. St. Marcus is in the building as well. Good to see you guys. Oh, Cooler, what's happening, fam? Shout out to you. Brother Wallace in the building. He says, Big Q, I told you Alvin Kamara won't get suspended this year. We got a whole lot of horses. I hope you're right on that. I hope we're gonna go over something about that, Brother Wallace. Thank you for that as well. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Shout out to you. What's up, Ro? Who that to your fam? Kai the Great's in the building. What's up, Brother Kai? Marty is in the building. Big shout out to Marty, Larry, Brother Doug, Brute Saint. Good to see your fam. Nolans 504 is in this thing. Ant-Man. Oh, wait, what's happening, fam? G-Reed 504, what's up, fam? From the NOLA, shout out to you. Godfidence. Who that to you? Good to see you in the stream. Shout out to all the fam, man. Thank y'all, Brother Tramal. Brother Terrence is in this thing. K. Moliere is in this thing. Good to see you. Who that? Dana is in the thing. What's popping, Queen? Shout out to you guys. And thank you for being in the stream. Brother Raphael, who that to you? Good to see you, fam. Shout out to you. Eternals in the building. Good to see you. Brother Byron is in the building. Rise and Shine Mobile Detailing. The Entrepreneur is in the building. Demetrius, who that to you, fam. Coach Tab is in the building. Shout out to you as well. Good to see you. All right, Brother Kendall is in the building. Brother Zendale's in the building. Shout out to Brandon. Good to see you. Brock is in the building. Tragic's in the building. Brother Justin, how you doing, fam? Good to see you. Shout out to you. Brother Jarrell's in the building. What's up, Shadow? Who that to you? Daniel, who that to you? What's up, King Hardy? Who that to you? B-Mac. What's up, B-Mac? Shout out, fam. Brother Travis and all the family members. What's up, MLW Fishing Man? What's up, bro? How you doing, bro? Good to see you. Brother Brian's in the building as well. Ant My Ninja is in the building. Shout out to all y'all, man. Thank y'all. What's up, Eugene? What's up, BJ? What's up, fam? Good to see you in the chat. Shout out to all of the great Saint Think Tank and the entire Who Dat Nation. We up in this thing, baby. All right, good to see you. Please, family, do me a service before we go further. Take a small second here and just mash on the like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. It helps out the stream. Also, feel free to share the show's link on your social media feed, whether it's Facebook, it does not matter, Instagram, or Reddit, whatever, wherever you socialize, take the Coma with you. Share that link. It helps out the stream. So shout out to the fam. L-Dub, what's up, fam? Big ups to L-Dub for real as well. And Who Dat, and appreciate all of you guys. What's up, DeWright? Who Dat to my brother DeWright out there in Florida. Millie 2L, what's up, fam? Shout out to you. All right, so yeah, fam. Now, we talking about what happened. And thank you, Coach Tab, for being a member for the past 3 months. Thank you. Appreciate you and all of the great Saint Think Tank family members and the Patreon champions for that. Brother Norman, shout out to you, fam. Good to see you in the chat, bro. Shout out. Truth hurts. I see you, fam. What's happening? All right, so the game, fam. Not just to fixate on the game. Brother Hart, good to see you. Fixate on the game. A lot of Who Dats weren't particularly happy about the book. I think we might have broken a Guinness World Book of Records when it came down to Guinness Book World Records dealing with Ian Book. I mean, I thought I heard, what's up, Annie? Who that to you, Queen? I thought I heard all the book puns when we did the watch party on Saturday night. Fam, every book pun, the book is closed, the book is in, don't book them, throw the book out, send the book to the library, whatever the book pun was, I heard every last one of them. I think we might have broken a record on the book puns, the negative book puns anyway, that happened on the stream, man. So I like to shout out to everybody that was in that watch party with us. And man, listen, all I got to say is that they roasting the book, they throwing the book in the fire, burn the book, all that. But I would caution the Who Dat family members, especially the great Saint Think Tank, to be patient with the book, give the book a chance, and allow it. See, y'all got me doing it. So just listen, just be cool with the book. Don't throw the book away. Don't cut the book's pages up. Don't do none of that. Just give the book some time. You know what I'm saying? He's still a young quarterback. He's just one game here, besides the other craptastic game they was throwing him in last year, and he just got toe up. But listen, let's see how he responds in the next 2 preseason games. There's still a couple of preseason games remaining. Horror book, fiction book, all this. I heard it all, man. We broke a record on that sucker. Justin say, bro, who you think who they gonna cut at the preseason? He says, I hope Daniel Sorensen. Well, bro, right now we kind of thin in the safety ranks, man. So I don't know. Sorensen, he might make it, bro, to be quite honest with you. Remember, we lost Smoke Monday. We lost Bryce Thompson. The Saints put him on the IR. Then new information I'm going to show with you that they made another move of Bryce Thompson in terms of the injury report. So that was 2 really young, good safeties that we were looking forward to helping out. And then, of course, we've had an issue with Alontae Taylor. He had a hip flexor, so we didn't see him in the first preseason game. So Daniel Sorensen and several others have an opportunity to show what they can do. And Sorensen is mostly a special teams guy they brought here. So if he can't make something shake and bake in the special teams area, he can very well be in the street. So, yeah, he doesn't have the athletic ability. He's an intelligent player, but the athletic ability is fleeting. So, we'll see, bro. But we got a lot. We got a lot of that. I'm laughing, bro, about these book puns that the Who Dat Nation is hitting me with right now. But that's my call on it. Thank you, brother Justin. Shout out to you. All right. Yeah. JT says QLOL. Check Marcus Williams out. Yeah. Well, what's up with Marcus Williams, bro? Yeah. The book in the horror book. Yeah. Cliff Notes. See, Cliff Notes. See, all kind of cookbook. Yeah. Oh yeah. All that. I heard it all. Yeah. Nah, burn the book. See, K. Moliere says burn the book. The book is at the end. Never judge a book by its cover. Thank you. No, thank you, GB. Thank you. That's the perfect one. Shout out to GB. That's the perfect one to respond to all of the negative book commentary. Listen, you can't judge a book by its cover. You can. Hey, I'm telling the Who That Nation right now that you can't judge a book by its cover. All right, now come on, y'all heard that before. That's what I'm asking for. Thank you, GB. That was the perfect book pun in the positive fashion to kind of shine a spotlight on what I'm trying to tell the Who That Nation. It's like, listen, this is a young quarterback. We know what he did in college. He's a smart guy. He needs to learn the system. He needs to get better in his decision-making ability. And listen, I'm gonna tell you something. You're gonna see a lot of this guy over the next 2 games because simply they're not gonna play Andy Dalton that much, maybe a series like they did before. And Ian Book and possibly Costello will get an opportunity to get plenty of reps. So you're going to see Ian Book a lot. He needs to pick that up. He needs to start picking that up, getting rid of that ball a lot quicker. He has to start, stop staring down defenders, and see a lot of that is happening because the offensive line that he's playing behind is misshapen. Would be interesting to see how the line will look if he had an opportunity to play behind the starters who did a real good job in front of Ian Book. So we had an opportunity to see him in front of the starters and not the back of the backup, I call them the back of the backups. Then we might see a better and more confident quarterback because he was running for his life a lot of times and he got sacked 5 times in the game. My goodness. It threw the book all in the mud. No, Kevin, I'm not. You way too forgiving. No, I'm not forgiving, bro. The man, listen, he was a rookie last year. He played in 1 game. He got tore up in that game. How am I too forgiving? Bro, I'm telling you, the Who That Nations, every year their patience is getting thinner and thinner. Remember, they was like, get rid of Troutman last year, and Troutman was in his 2nd year. It was in his 2nd year. This is his 3rd year now. Now you're seeing Troutman shine. I'm saying some of these guys, it happened like that. Some of it doesn't. Some of these guys need time, especially at the quarterback position. So what I'm simply saying is don't judge a book by its cover. Give him some time. Let's see what he looks like. Let's see if he can make the adjustments in preseason game 2 and 3, and then we go from there. You know what I'm saying? And this could be a moot point, fam, because at the end of the day, Ian Book probably won't make the active man roster. He probably will get released and then picked up on the practice squad. That's why I think, because I don't think the Saints are going to hold 3 quarterbacks like 1, 2, 3, including Taysom Hill on the roster. They ain't gonna do that. That 3rd QB position, which is they'll have Jameis at 1, Andy at 2, and then that 3rd QB position eliminated for maybe another wide receiver, perhaps another offensive lineman, perhaps another defensive back. You can go however you want, maybe another running back if you feel like you need that. That's what that spot lends itself to, as opposed to having a guy stand there with a clipboard that's not really giving you nothing. So especially if he doesn't look all that great, they would put him in the street. And remember, Dennis Allen didn't select the kid. It was Coach Payton. Man, I've seen this horrible list, man. I wish I could pull it up. A quarterback. The guy had it on Twitter. I meant to share it. I said I need to share that with the Who That Nation and let them see all the quarterbacks. I guarantee I probably won't ever find that list ever again. The guy had it online. And he showed all the quarterbacks that were selected since Archie Manning. Man, if anybody has that tweet, send it to me on Twitter so I can show it to the family, man. Because it was a list of people, man, that we had, and that list was horrible. It was so horrible. I'll say, oh my goodness. They had people on there. You had Tommy Stevens on the list. You had Sean Canfield on the list. You had Garrett Grayson on the list. You had Mike Buck on the list. It was a list of people. Y'all send that to me if you've seen that, man, so I can share it with the Who That Nation. Because let me tell you something, man. That was an ugly list, man, boy. All right, Austin, thank you, fam. Appreciate your super chat. He says the book ain't finished yet. Go ahead and keep reading the good book with your best Loomis Q. Let me tell you something. Thank you, Austin, for that super chat, by the way. And let me tell you something. I picked him. I'm gonna take some of the brunt of this. All right. Let me tell you something. Me and Sean, we were we were deciding, and Sean said, listen, I'm getting pressure from the Who Dat Nation to take a quarterback. And I'm like, yeah, I say it's Sean. Listen, yeah, I'm going to tell you something. I've been here for a long time. I don't want you to take the guy if you don't really believe in him. And then Sean said to me, well, look, Q, I like this guy from Notre Dame. I think, and I'll take the brunt. I picked him. I'm gonna just tell you guys, you don't have to talk to Sean. You talk to me, talk to Mickey. I did that. I took Ian Book because, you can't judge a book by its cover. So send all of your hatred to me, Mickey Lomas. Thank you very much. Well, appreciate you, Mickey, for that, bro. Appreciate you. Shout out to Mickey making a brief appearance on the Coma. All right, we love Mickey Loomis. Shout out to Mickey, man. Mickey always dropping some signs, don't he, family? At any time Mickey pop up in here and show some love, man, that is real deal Holyfield. Mickey, man, let me tell you something. LM, what's up, LM? He says, say Q, book is horrible. 3 of those, bro, you're right. I'm not saying, look, LM, you're right. You know what I'm saying? By the way, LM, are you related to Coach Tab? Is Coach Tab and LM Tab, is y'all related? Let me know in the chat. 985, I see you, fam. Shout out. What's up, KB? Brother Travis, I see you. Brother Daniel, I got you. Let me ask you something, fam. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. JT says, study your lunch and eat your book. My nephew said, listen, all I'm saying is that it's an incomplete book. The book is not finished. Damn, y'all got me doing this. Damn. Y'all got me doing this. The book ain't finished. Okay? All right. How about that one? All right. The book is not completed. Okay? Now, how you going to throw the book out? The book is not completed. Okay? Now, the guy's terrible right now. Yeah, he looks awful. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that go Mickey. Oh, Mickey popped up here, man. See, we got Mickey in the chat. What's up, Mickey? Mickey popped up. He says, nah, Q. Nah, Q. Book sucks, man. Talk to Sean. Oh, big. Yeah. Mickey popped up in here, man. Shout out to Mickey, man. Oh, man. Mickey in the building, y'all. But listen, man, well, listen, all I'm saying is, man, yeah, he horrible looking, fam. I'm not discounting that. Y'all are 100% right. I agree with you. But all I'm saying to the family is that we still got 2 more games left in the preseason. What's up? Thank you, Marley, for being a pro megastar for 25 months. He says, Q, the book isn't being published no more, bro. Bro, the book is incomplete. It hadn't finished yet. We still got 2 more preseasons games. Could we see what he looks in the next 2 preseason games before we throw the book in the trash? Before we cancel the book? Before we burn the book? And any other negative connotations you can come up with books? I mean, he most certainly wasn't a good book. At this point, he looks pretty bad. And you're right, bro. LM, you're right. A couple of them was his fault because he's holding on to the ball too long. His eyes are dropping down to field level as opposed to looking downfield to find his wide receivers. He doing everything wrong. Like, he even was so nervous he overthrew several receivers who got nice size. Like he overthrew a couple of times DeJohn Dixon. He missed him. He underthrew 6'7" Nick Vannett. I don't know how you do that, but you're right. He does look terrible, but listen, it's not just him by itself. The offensive line is not giving him any stability. And when you don't have a stable line, it can make any quarterback look like they never played the game before. So what I'm simply saying is, could we see what he looks like in 2 more preseason games before we cancel him out, before we throw the book in the trash? That's all I'm saying. And outside of that, and you're right, this could be a moot point anyway, because he probably not going to make the active roster, probably going to end up on the practice squad anyway. Then again, he might not. We'll see. Coach Tab says, Q, you said book was good in college, but not really. Dame is not a competitive school. Hey, listen, Coach Tab, let me say, when you look at what he did in college, you put the film on Ian Book, he was the real deal. It's not easy. He took down Joe Montana's records. The Hall of Fame great Joe Montana, who was really good at Notre Dame. He took his stuff down, all their records, and he's the man at Notre Dame. Now that is an accomplishment, but right now he just don't look good behind that shaky ass line. He has no confidence. So what Pete Carmichael did was, as you can see, he started having success because the line was so bad. He started rolling him out of the pocket to make throws on the run. And what it did was it shrunk the field for Ian Book. I see what Pete Carmichael was doing. Very smart man. He started rolling them out and then shrinking the field so he only had to look at one section of the field or give him either one or two reads. And he had success doing that. And the Saints would have scored on that drive and would have won the game, in my estimation, if Abram Smith wouldn't have fumbled at the goal line. They were marching to a score, and he did put together a couple of drives where they were supposed to get some stuff going. That Abram Smith drive was a killer, but they had several other little debacles that happened. So yeah, we're gonna see about the Book, man. But it could be, you're right, it could mean that at the end of the day, Book is more than likely probably not gonna make the active roster because the Saints don't need to keep 3 quarterbacks there. And they got Taysom Hill serving as, he could be Taysom will act as the emergency quarterback while he played the tight end and wide receiver and running back and all other crap that they're going to have him doing. So you could be meaning something there, fam, but still in all, he exactly ends up on the practice squad. But still in all, let's see what the young fella got to give, bro. That's all I'm saying is there's 2 more preseason games. Can he make the adjustments to get better? That's what I'm interested in seeing. So not just him, but also several other really interesting undrafted guys that played in that game. Can they have better outings? Man, listen, Trevor Penning, he didn't have a good game either, but we ain't talking about putting his ass in the street. Oh, look up, how about Landon Young? Landon Young, oh my goodness. Landon Young looked like Landon Old. That's how he looked like Landon Old out of there. He was nothing young about that game. He was getting beat like a drum. He was getting beat like he owed the casino money. I mean, he was any kind of way you could think about it. He was getting it handed to him out there. Him and Penning. It was getting it handed to him. I expect Penning to improve, but I need to see some more improvement out of the Saints offensive line. The backups, the back of the backups. You see what I'm saying? They had 5th stringers in there, and it told. Okay, T Dirty says the coloring book. All right, so anyway, yeah, Traquan Smith. Yeah, that's another one. Kirk Merritt had a performance, but yeah, we're gonna cover all of this, family. Let me get right up into it. There's over 200 of us in here. Please smash upon the like button and share the show screen. And L is dropping wisdom. L says, everybody relax. It's just the first preseason game. We have a long season ahead of us. Thank you, L, for dropping a little wisdom in there. And remember, fam, like I said, we got to be a little bit more patient with some of these guys because some of them not going to get it right away. And there's still a couple of games left that we got to see what they can do. So there's several other guys I'm interested in seeing if they can improve upon circumstances that happened in the first game that don't happen in the game against the Packers. That's obvious. We got to have a better outing. Let's see if they can make the adjustments because they're going to study the tape. Anyway, let's get ready to hit it, fam. As we get ready, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe if we get it going. Ms. Tess, you talked about Landon Young. Cute. Do you think he? Oh yeah, I think they all can improve. I really do, because we don't make no mistakes. I got it, Tedra. I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah, the Bostic was. We're gonna talk about Bostic, and the Saints added some more people. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. I got it on the report. We're gonna cover it. We're gonna talk about it. All right. Coach Tab saying you talked about Landon Q. I do think Landon Young can improve. I really do. I think Trevor Penning could improve. I think Landon Young could improve. And to a degree, I think Book improves. I know Abram Smith looked really good besides the fumble, and he talked about that in the interview that he was going to get better, that won't happen anymore. He's going to get better. I think Devontae Zigbo did a solid job. And a few people, Kirk Merritt did a solid job. DeJohn Dixon did some stuff. Traquan Smith dropped an interception, which was maddening. But they had other guys that stepped up in that first preseason game and handled business, and some that need help. They need to improve. All right, 985 Live. Okay, is that which one you dropping there, bro? Is that let me see. All right, now is that the one? Okay, is that the list you sent me, bro? Oh no, he says Penning locked 57 snaps against Houston. All right, 4th among offensive rookies across the NFL. Yeah, I heard about that, bro. About him getting all of the reps. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, he pushed him into him. Yeah. Yeah, he got a lot of reps. Look, he got beat there. Yeah, he was getting beat badly in the game, man. And look at that guy just running around him. He should have had the sack that time. And he got too far back in the game. Yeah, he fired out. The guy just spun him on him. He fell on it. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying about NFL speed. You got to get used to the NFL speed. And he's quick, but these guys are fast. These guys are fast. And the guy he was going with, even though they call him a defensive lineman, he's like a linebacker. Look, he just gets right up under him, and he was able to get it. That should have been a sack on that play. And then look, he just run right past him to the quarterback. So I mean, yeah, he just beats him like a drum right there, and luckily he got rid of it. But yeah, it wasn't a good outing for him, and the offensive line was in shambles and pieces. So yeah, 504 Coach says, Q, we got to give Andrew some love, bro. Yeah, I know. You're right, bro. Anytime he does good, the Saints offensive line, the starters did well. They did well, helping Andy Dalton stand up right and make the play. So yes, indeed. But you also got to give credit where credit is due to the Saints, because the Saints don't often make a lot of bad decisions in terms of guys on the offensive line. They're usually pretty stable in their choices with running backs, wide receivers, and linemen a lot of times, especially offensive linemen, where they have these guys, and you just have to see them improve, and I think they will. So anyway, let's get into it, fam. Saints announced roster moves. Latest Saints transactions are presented here, and the team signs 3 defensive players. This was released by NewOrleansSaints.com with the transaction alert, because the Saints had to make some moves. They had to drop the roster. New Orleans Saints have signed linebacker John Bostic and defensive end Nico Lalos, who resigned a defensive tackle Jaleel Johnson. Remember, the Saints released him. They brought him back. They waived injured defensive back Jordan Brown and Isaiah Pryor. That was the linebacker, the undrafted linebacker. They waived defensive lineman TJ Carter and defensive back Jack Corner, the safety they picked up, and defensive end Scott Patchan. They got rid of him. Kicker John Parker Romo and wide receiver Aesop Winston Jr. And then they reached an injury settlement with defensive back Bryce Thompson and placed tackle Ethan Greenwich on the IR. It was announced today by Executive Vice President and GM. Talk to Dennis. But man, let me say that again, because that's a lot that the Saints did, and we'll go over the particular guys that they added to the team. And with Bostic, Bostic's a solid linebacker. Saints signed Bostic, defensive end Nico Lalos, re-signed defensive tackle Jaleel Johnson. They waived defensive back Jordan Brown. Remember, they brought him on the team. Isaiah Pryor, the backup undrafted linebacker. They waived defensive tackle TJ Carter, defensive back Jack Corner, who was a safety, defensive end Scott Patchan, who was at the back of the depth chart, kicker John Parker Romo, and wide receiver Aesop Winston Jr. I'm surprised by the Aesop Winston Jr. release, because I thought Aesop did well in the kick return, punt return game. But what's even more interesting is that they waived Aesop Winston. Does this open up an opportunity for Rashid Shaheed? Because Aesop is a pretty good kick returner. He's a speedster that helps you too. But do the Saints look at Rashid Shaheed as an opportunity to give him reps at the kick and punt return positions that Aesop sought after? Anyway, the new addition, John Bostic, the linebacker right here, plays inside, 6'1", 250 pounds, 245 here, out of the University of Florida. Very solid linebacker. Will punch you in the mouth. He's a 10-year veteran who was originally selected in the second round of pick 50 out of the 2013 draft by the Chicago Bears. He's from Florida, and he played 106 career games with 81 starts with Chicago. He was with New England, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, and Washington, and has recorded career totals of 550 tackles, 343 of which was solo, 9.5 sacks, 3 picks, 15 pass defense, and 2 fumble recoveries. In 21, Bostic started 4 games for the Washington club before suffering a season-ending pectoral injury and recorded just 22 tackles, 12 of which was solo. So the Saints, remember, they added Chase Hansen, who should be the player of the game defensively speaking. Chase Hansen was flying all over the field, making plays. Chase Hansen looked like he was just with the Saints for the whole year. He went through camp with him and everything. He looked really good out there. So shout out to Chase Hansen. He balled out. Would be interested to see if Chase Hansen could continue that level of play for the next 2 preseason games. But Bostic is a sturdy veteran. The Saints need help in the linebacker core. And Bostic is one of those guys that can come in with leadership ability. He's seen a lot in his 10-year career and could help the Saints. So he gives the Saints another veteran linebacker like Eric Wilson, who was a 6-year pro. Bostic comes in there at 10 years and could kind of give the Saints a veteran look to kind of solidify or certify that linebacker position. So it's good to have Bostic on the club, man. It really is. What role he looks going forward, we don't know what this possibly could mean. You have a veteran here. What does that mean for Pete Werner? How close is Pete Werner? How far off is his injury? You know, we all this is yet to be determined. So Bostic is here, and this he simply could be serving as a camp body. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. And then Nico Lalos is a game that the team, another player that the team picked up, 6'5", 270-pound defensive lineman out of Dartmouth. He's 6'5", 270. He was originally signed by the Giants as an undrafted free agent out of Dartmouth back in 2020. As a rookie in 2020, he played 6 games, posted 5 tackles, 2 of which were solo. He had a pick, 1 pass defense, 1 fumble recovery. He's from Akron. He spent the 21 season on the Giants practice squad, and as a senior for the Big Ten Green, he was named first team All Ivy League, recorded 35 tackles, a team high 10 stops for loss and 5.5 sacks, as well as 7 pass defense and a pick, which he returned 22 yards for a touchdown. So the Saints picked up Nico Lalos and brought him in, and this could be more of a camp body type of situation. Interested to see why the Saints would do that, but they bring him in. Well, let's see what they see of him. And then the Saints cycle back and pick up Big Jaleel Johnson. Remember, he was here. The Saints released him last week, but now he's back. 6'3", 316, originally signed with New Orleans in the offseason and spent the bulk of the preseason with the club. Originally a 4th-round pick out of Minnesota back in 2017. Johnson played in 65 regular season games with 20 starts for the Vikings and Houston, posted 110 tackles, 54 of which was solo, 5.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and then 21 after going to training camp with the Texans and spending the first week of the season with the Saints practice squad. He appeared in 12 games with Houston and recorded 23 tackles, 11 solo, and a fumble recovery. And he's from Illinois. He played 4 seasons at Iowa. And after redshirting his freshman year in 2012, he earned first team All Big Ten as senior when he totaled 55 tackles, 29 of which was solo, 10 stops for loss, and 8 sacks. So Big Jaleel Johnson gets after it. So another big interior defensive lineman the Saints are bringing in after the first round of cuts. So they put him in the street and then bring him back along with another guy, Nico Lalos. So the Saints making defensive moves here. Bostic at the linebacker position, Nico Lalos at the defensive end, and Jaleel Johnson back at the defensive tackle position. So that's some of the guys and additions that they added here besides some of the guys that they got rid of with the first round to cut. So there you go. Of course, and then kind of look at the 85-man rosters. The Saints was supposed to get down to that 85-man roster by Tuesday. You get me? And the Saints do pull a few moves getting these guys up out of here. So yeah. So Brown waived with injury designation. He was released on injury designation. This information coming by way of Saints Wire. 26 signed with the Saints a week ago after injuries stand out the secondary. Now that some players are healing up and roster cuts are approaching, he's been let go through Brown. May return to New Orleans injured reserve list. Isaiah Pryor, the linebacker, waived with injury designation. Joined the Saints, an undrafted free agent out of Notre Dame. And like Brown, he's been waived with an injury and could end up on the IR. TJ Carter waived from it. He's 23, was also picked up and played a few snaps in the preseason opener with the Texans. Saints have spent time with him before in the practice squad, so they have a good idea of what he brings to the table. They churn the bottom of the depth chart to see if there are better options, and the better options is not TJ Carter to them. It is Lalos to see what he's doing. We'll see. Corner was a safety that was brought in here as an undrafted guy out of Iowa. They put him in the street. And Pashan was another guy. This was the guy that was you remember Trevor Pinion had pushed on up out of here, and they're saying that Pashan is replaced by Lalos. That could be a factor there. So also John Parker Romo was waived. Eastside Winston was the biggest of the cuts in my opinion. He said it was a surprise. I was surprised by the Eastside Winston thing, but I'm thinking maybe the Saints may be looking at Rashid Shaheed for that thing. And of course Ethan Greenwich. Tough to see another season injury for Greenwich, who has brought some solid depth to both guard and tackle position, but the kid just simply can't develop because of these injuries. This may be the end of the line for the 24-year-old with the Saints during the contract year. Greenwich being sidelined with injury does open up more reps for backups like Forrest Lamp, Landon Young, and Sage Dockstader. And then, of course, defensive back Bryce Thompson, who we love a lot. Once again, another year of injuries have stalled him out. Thompson, who's 22, and spent most of the 21 season on the Saints practice squad and was drawing a lot of attention in camp after converting the safety from cornerback, at times backing up Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in the slot, but he went down with an injury last week and initially landed on the IR. This move makes him a free agent and he'll be eligible to sign with any team upon passing the physical. The door isn't shut on him eventually returning to New Orleans, but it's unlikely. Remember, this happened to him before and he found his way back to the Saints. Once he gets healthy, who knows what happens here. So that's a bit of the news right there, turning town, dealing with the Saints. Now, also, let's move on, fam. And this comes from my good friends at the Saints News Network. Saints running back Alvin Kamara may avoid NFL suspension in 2022. What do you mean by that? Recent national reports have backed up local speculation that Saints running back Alvin Kamara could avoid an NFL suspension during the 2022 season. This is Bob Rose. Shout out to our brother Bob over there at Saints News Network, brother Kyle T. Mosley, and the rest of the fam, brother Hendricks. Good to appreciate y'all guys. ESPN insider Adam Schefter is among several national reporters suggesting that New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara may avoid a league suspension during the 2023 season. In an ESPN interview with Phil Yates, Schefter mentioned that the legal process for Kamara stemming from an offseason arrest in Las Vegas still has a long way to play out. The same has been suggested here at the Saints News Network last month and at the sports. Well, let me tell you something. We don't exactly know, but we do know that whatever happens, it's not going to be instantaneous. I said that to myself. I know that eventually with all of the appeals, some type of legal stratagem he's setting up to buy, some type of strategy. I don't know whether he settles with the guy, but it doesn't look like he's going to settle with the guy. So we'll see what happens here. But the report stipulates some stuff. Kamara was arrested during the weekend of the Pro Bowl in early February and charged with battery resulting in bodily harm. A preliminary hearing has already been rescheduled multiple times. It's currently scheduled for late October. Now, Kamara's legal representation has indicated that the running back will plead not guilty. Now, that's something else right there. That's a bit of information that is new out of all of this recycled, regurgitated stuff. That, my friends, is something new right there. The stratagem is like, okay, what is Kamara doing here with these excessive extensions? He's buying time for a legal stratagem. You know, is he buying time to settle with the guy? But now we got a little bit of information here that's saying Kamara's legal representation has indicated the running back will plead not guilty. If they remain with that legal approach, then the preliminary hearing is just one step in what could be a lengthy trial process that would extend through the 2022 NFL season. So that is a bit of good information right there. And of course, we know the NFL conduct policy is clear on the league suspensions or consequences for such an offense is typically a 6-game suspension, with the commissioner's office reserving the right to reduce or lengthen the punishment. However, the NFL also typically waits until court proceedings have been settled in such matters. That's right. Also note that even if the case were to go to trial and Kamara avoids legal consequences, the NFL could still suspend him based on the personal conduct policy. If Kamara changes his plea to guilty, no contest, or take a plea agreement, then we should expect the league to step in quickly and hand down the punishment. So anyway, Kamara is the focal point of what is expected to be a vastly improved Saints offense. He led the team in rushing for the last 4 seasons, has averaged over 1,500 yards from the scrimmage over the last 5 seasons, and Kamara's 68 total career touchdowns are just 5 away from passing Colston for the all-time franchise lead. His 47 rushing scores are 4 from tying current teammate Mark Ingram as the franchise leader in that category. So all Alvin Kamara has been on the field is excellent. Not too much to talk about besides a little nitpicky stuff that he did and with the C-19 and all that kind of stuff. But this here is on a whole nother level. If he intends to plead not guilty to charges, then that means that indeed, I agree, this will be a lengthy process that's headed down the pike, and we just have to wait and see how it plays out. But just to know that we do have Alvin Kamara the first 3 games of the season, and whatever happens after that, we shall see. We'll be here watching it the whole step of the way. So there you go. All right. So Mocha said, what that kid caught on camera trying to put, he's trying to put trying to put him on a t-shirt. What's up, Joe? Shout out, fam. Yeah. And this is the thing, man. What's up, brother Judah? Yes, he was. Yes, AK-47 was trying to put I call it trying to make the turn man into grape juice. That's what he was stumping on him, trying to turn him into grape juice. In his video evidence, he can plead however he wants, but even the police said that the video evidence is damning to him. So what would be the best legal strategy for him to do? And he might feels like, hey man, the hell with that. I'm not paying that. That guy extorted me to a degree. Not extorted, but he played him. He played him. That guy made sure he didn't hit him. He made sure he got punched on. He made sure he was somewhere where he had a lot of cameras at. And you a sucker. You got sucker, so you gonna have to pay. So I don't know what he's trying to plan on doing here, but at some point, ain't no way around this thing, Elvin. You might have to come up with the paper to keep it a buck with you. You might have to come up with the paper. So I don't know what the stratagem is on this one, fam. So I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how it rolls out. All right, Nola Ball said, Big Q, do you know if the league has ever suspended a player for self-defense? For self-defense, I'm not certain on that, Nola. That's a good question, but we do know that based on the footage that Alvin Kamara has, I mean, he paying for it, so he could tell him, look, I'm not gonna do it. Maybe they got an angle where they could show that the guy, it was a setup where the guy, I don't know what they got. You don't know what little investigation that they did around the scene. Maybe they found somebody that was in, and this is mere speculation, but maybe they found somebody that was working with the man to say, listen, this dude was going to do this or something like that. You never know. If a guy came forward and said, listen, bro, I'll tell you everything and whatever, I don't know what they got. So they extending out the time frame to create a stratagem. I don't know what they got, fam. So we're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out. But the report does indicate that he's going to plead not guilty to the charges, which means he's going to fight him. So I don't know, man. But that videotape evidence does show him in a negative light. That you can't use self-defense for that because the dude was running away and you run after him and start punching on him. So if he was coming to being the aggressor and you was defending yourself, that's different. But he's retreating and running away and you're punching him in his back. So it's no longer... He's not a threat to you no more because he's trying to retreat. That's how they're going to look at it. So I don't know how effective that defense will be. So I don't know. We just going to have to, go and handle it and watch it play out. Hart says, Q, do you know if they updated the numbers on the practice squad spot this year? Is it still 16? I think it's still 16, bro. I'm going to have to look at that. Again, matter of fact, let's do our little check right now, my friend. All right, NFL. All right, practice squad. Let's get some receipts right now, bro. All right, hold on here. All right, hold on. Maybe I need to rephrase that. Give me just a second. Let me. Let's see. 16, bro. Still 16, according to here. As of July the 25th, it's saying the number of players allowed on the NFL practice squad has been shifting numbers since the pandemic began, but the league allowed as many as 16 players on the practice squad, but this has dropped to 12 from the 21 campaign. But it's saying 16 as of this year, so I hope you answered your question, bro. Shout out to you on that. Yeah, we're going to get the receipts, bro. If I don't know, I'm going to find out for you. All right, so anyway, let's keep it moving, fam. Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what Alvin Kamara is doing, fam, to be quite honest with you. I really don't know, but we'll find out. Tedra said video footage of him trying to push them into doing it or prove dude swung first. This is true. If he swung on them first, that's one thing. But if the guy's retreating and he's chasing them and hitting them, that just throws out any defense plea you have because the guy's no longer a threat to you. So, yeah. So we'll see. Emmanuel says they probably amended this change down to a lesser crime. Therefore, he can get arraigned on different charge and he plead no guilty. That's good news. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll see how it all plays out, bro, and see what happens. But it's still very much in the air. I don't know. Yeah, I know. The legal team is going to be the best. I know he's going to spend some money, and I know his agent say, listen, you got somebody? Yeah, I know somebody. And then he put the guy out there. So yeah, he's going to spend some money and get good leadership. So we'll see what they got, man. But he said he's going to plead not guilty. So that's good news for the Who Dat Nation. Let's see how it looks. All right, fam, let's keep it shaking, man. And being that the date is August the 15th, of course, nothing was shaking for the Saints, as you know, and you won't hear about the black and gold until tomorrow, as they'll have the pads. And this is the rest of our training camp schedule up until the 21st, which is the matchup, That's the Caesar Superdome practice, the last practice, which will be held at the Dome of the well, for us, open to the practice stuff for us. That'll be held at the Dome on the 21st, and I will be in the building for that. But you have August the 16th. They have practice in pads. That'll be from 10:25 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And of course, that's all there in Green Bay. And that practice will be open to the public up there. And then Wednesday, another padded practice, same time, same place, same channel, open to the public. And of course, then you have the Saints. Will have the matchup. Well, they'll have the open to the practice. Then they come down here August the 21st. And this is just the practice schedule right here, which is already sold out. Practice in the Shells. It'll be 3:45 to 5:15 in the Superdome. And as you can see, they are all sold out for the Dome. So that was fun, man. Practice has been cool, and I'll be up in that joint. Me, DC, and others will be up in there chilling up in that joint. So watching the Saints final practice. But yeah, that's what's going on, family, for the rest of this week here, just to let the family members know. Well, shout out to you, Jeffrey. Good to see you, fam. Shout out. Much love to the fam as well. All right. So anyway, all right, let me keep it going here. And then, of course, we get on to this, fam. We get on to this, which is the Saints running back, Alvin Kamara, one of the best running backs in the NFL. Top 5, in my opinion. Actually, you think about what Alvin Kamara does in the NFL, he's top 2, in my opinion. But he's a New Orleans Saint, and they always throw our Saints down. This ranking, last year, Alvin Kamara was, according to the NFL, and remember, this is the players picking these people. He was ranked 14th, and he went from 14th to 51. This is totally ridiculous. Alvin Kamara has not lost a step. I don't know what they're judging this based on, and I don't know what other running backs that you could say are better than him with his body of work. Most of the times, and I'm pretty sure when it gets up into the top 15 or top 20 or 25, they're going to have the guy from the Indianapolis Colts in there, which you shouldn't do that. He did good last year. That was 1 year. You can't, let's see if he can do that 2 years before you hoist him up there against Alvin Kamara. But this is a terrible ranking. He went from 14 and 21 all the way to 51. That is laughable. That is laughable. Everything Alvin Kamara, he's not hurt. He's totally healthy. He looks the best. He looks really good in camp. He's cutting and gliding. He looks strong, and he's fast as hell, smart and comfortable in the system. He hasn't lost a beat. I mean, he's still Alvin Kamara. So I don't know if they're basing it on his legal stuff. Well, he's not going to be that, such and such, but they ain't got nothing to do with it. If he has off-field issues with this Las Vegas situation, that ain't got a damn thing to do. We talking about what he does on the field coming into the season, top 100 players coming into the season. And Kamara, in my opinion, is way too, this is 51 rank is ridiculous, man. That's way too far out there. Way too far out there. But another disrespectful thing. And then you want to talk about disrespect. Look about this one. Cam Jordan last year was 46. That was messed up. When they pushed Cam all the way to 69, and Cam had a hell of a year last year. And they still pushed him up there to 69. And I think I seen one with Trey Hendrickson was like 10 spots behind. I'm like, how do you do that? But remember, once again, a lot of this is picked by the players. Here is not so much as us as it is the players that's calling this stuff. They did the same thing with Lattimore and Demario Davis. They had them way out there. And I'm like, man, that don't make any sense, man, for Cam Jordan to be number 69. And last year he was 46, and he had he turned on a hell of a type of season last year that was unbelievable. After he missed that C19 game, he came back here like a buzzsaw to close out the season strong, and he falls all the way down that far. It's just like, it's ridiculous. I mean, Cam fell over 20 spots to 69, and he had a solid year last year. So I don't know what the hell they talking about with this nonsense. So, man, like I said, man, it's just awful to say the same about most of the crap that we see with these people making these calls, but it's inducive of what kind of disrespect that you see when you're a who that man or who that woman for that matter. So anyway, shout out to the fam. Good to see y'all in the building. All right, let's kind of do a quick transaction alert, fam, as we keep the ship moving along. And then, of course, I'm going to close out. Yeah, Jeffrey, 13 sacks that he had last year. He had 13 goddamn sacks last year. And then they treat it like it's chopped liver. That's everything with the Saints. It's all the same stuff. Never stop. All the same stuff. All the same stuff all over again. So, I mean, excuse me, fam. Yeah. So anyway, with that being said, fam, what it's just awful, man. But anyway, let's talk about the trans. I'm gonna do a quick recap of this thing. And remember, we talked about the addition of John Bostic. Now listen, John Bostic is a solid linebacker. He's old school, bro. He's seen a lot of stuff defensively speaking. 6'1", 245. He'll bring some stability to the linebacker room. Him adding another veteran and not somebody that is a guy that you can't count on, or a young guy that got to figure it out. The Saints say, listen, we need some veteran stability right here, because, you know, maybe Pete Werner needs to be out a little longer. I don't know what's going on with Zach Bowen. So you got to look at that. Like, what the hell is going on with Zach Bowen? Nobody's talking about Zach Bowen. I don't know what the hell is going on with Zach Bowen, but they need people at the linebacker position. They just got rid of one of their undrafted guys in Isaiah Pryor, who played a little bit in there, but you still hold on to, what's his name? The other linebacker there. His name skips me right now, but it's just amazing, man. But John Bostic is a solid veteran linebacker that will help in the linebacker room if he's not just I don't think he's just a camp body. The Saints are dealing with something right now with the linebackers. Like I said, Pete Werner dealing with something. Zach Bowen is, what injury does he have? He didn't play. I don't know what's going on with him, bro. He's a total question mark. Dowell played in the game. He had a few plays in that thing. Chase Hansen shined. Nephi Sewell, you seen him flash in some plays. But outside of that, man, you know, with DeMarco Jackson, your 5th round draft pick on the injury reserve, Bostic helps out. We've seen Eric Davis spot duty here or there. So Bostic helps solidify the thing. I don't know about this Nikos Lalos kid. I don't know nothing about him in terms of what he going to bring. I think he might just be a camp body dude. I think Jaleel Johnson, bringing him back, they feel like he helps out in the interior depth situation. But remember, the Saints by Tuesday of this next Tuesday have to get that roster cut down to, I think it's 85. So, I mean, yeah, they got to get the roster down a Tuesday headline to 85 from what it is now. And they already did release several players in preparation for that. So we covered that. We also talked about the Alvin Kamara suspension that was looming. Now they're saying he could avoid suspension. We also learned in a report that he will challenge it. He will fight it. You know, he's going to plead innocent to the charge, which means he's mounting a defense to go after it. So that's a positive sign, which means the Saints will be there. And of course, I did skip over one article. I don't know how I did this, fam, so excuse me for that. There's a Bob Rose article that covers the games. He gives a thumbs up and thumbs down with him. And instead of me breaking it down, I think my estimation and what he was saying, I read his article, and they're spot on of what my thought process was on certain players in the game. He calls it the thumbs up and thumbs down portion of it. So, you know, let's see what he had to say about it as well. He said in the first game over 7 months, the Saints dropped the preseason opener at Houston 17-13. The final score didn't matter at all. Coaches use preseason games as the part of the evaluation process. Wisely said. Defensively, the Saints look sharp and ready for the regular season opener on September 11th in Atlanta. Several New Orleans starters on both sides of the ball didn't suit up. Most others ended their night after a series or two. The Saints starting offense was impressive on the first and only drive, taking the ball 67 yards in 10 plays and ending in a touchdown pass from Andy Dalton to Dwayne Washington. By the way, was really surprised that the Saints started off with Dwayne Washington in the matchup. Fam, I was really surprised by that, to be quite honest with you. I thought they would probably start off with Abram Smith, but they had him on the back end. And I was surprised by that because Sean Payton, Coach Payton, his tenure here, when you have big, burly, north-south runners like Latavius Murray or Dwayne Washington, you know, those guys in particular, he underutilized them. You know, he really did underutilize them. I thought that it'd serve well to have a role for those guys like short yardage runners, and maybe you could use them on the third ones as opposed to using Alvin Kamara to run naked or without a fullback for a first down. Latavius Murray's made for that. He was 6'3", 6'4", 240 pounds, 235, whatever it was, and he falls forward to get you 3 or 4 yards. Well, Dwayne Washington has a similar running style as Latavius Murray, and he did very well. He even caught the ball out. Remember, one of his biggest knocks was that he don't catch the ball well out the backfield. Well, Dwayne Washington did a pretty decent job of that. So him getting a start, credit to Dennis Allen, looking at Dwayne Washington, who's been in the Saints building, been there for a while. So shout out to him on giving him an opportunity. And that drive looked really well. The first drive of the game, by the way, of the black and gold, man. I was really happy to see that. They looked really good. And of course, outside of that, the second and third teamers were uneven after that. He said his goal is thumbs up and thumbs down. Thumbs up to Andy Dalton. He was 5 for 5 in the game, but he had 51 yards. He had a score. He did really well. He looked really slick in the game, really comfortable. Shout out to the Saints starting offensive line who protected him. They were getting out, running the plays. They looked really good against the first teamers of the Texans. That's not saying much because the Texans ain't hitting on nothing, but still in all, the Saints beat whoever was in front of them. They looked really good. They looked really good on time. Andrews Pete was with the business. Cesar Ruiz was with the business. Ryan Ramczyk was with the business. Those guys looked really professional in that first game, and shout out to the Saints offensive line. The 12-year veteran Dalton looks to be a massive upgrade over Trevor Siemian. Remember, that was a term I kept using. That's a huge, severe, I said the term severe upgrade. That's what I would call him over Trevor Siemian. Remember, the Saints went 0-4 in Siemian starts last season and ultimately started 4 different quarterbacks because of season-ending injuries to Winston. We forget about that stat, that despite the fact that Siemian did help to secure victory against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the game that Jameis got hurt, but he would help you win games that he had to come into the game for. But when opposing teams had the game plan for Trevor Siemian, he didn't win none of those games, not even one of those games. Not even one of those games. And had we had Andy Dalton last year, the Saints would have won at least half of those games. Out of the 4 starts, he might have got you 2, maybe 3 games at the most, and you could have been in the playoffs. But see, that's what it means to have a really good quarterback, a veteran quarterback, 34 years old, that been through the fire, seen a lot, and he comes in there and just executes and handles the business behind the first team offense. So the Saints, like I told you, they went over this team with a fine-tooth comb after last year, and they corrected a lot of problems that they had. They know Jameis coming off injury, and they need a quarterback to kind of steady the ship while Jameis mends. And if something happens, he's an option. So, man, this was a solid move for them to do the damn thing. Now, Dalton showed poise and accuracy from the pocket. And remember, he's been showing poise and accuracy all camp long. He's been looking good, and it's to be expected of Dalton, who himself said that he was involved in 6 offenses over the last several years. So it was interesting to see that. But there's no quarterback controversy here. Winston is the guy, unquestioned starter. Dalton shows that he has the capability to move the offense, and should the team need to turn him during the year, he'll be ready. Thumbs down. Here you go, fam. The book is in. As thumbs down in book. Despite some impressive showings during the first 2 weeks of training camp, Book again struggled in game simulation. He was 15 of 22 passing over the last 3.5 quarters, but threw 121 yards. Book also threw an interception and fumbled twice and was sacked 5 times. Book's interception came on a tip pass that could have been caught, but the throw was off the mark. Several of his passes during the evening were off target. He was indecisive with the football and seemed to have a difficult time reading the defenses because he wasn't comfortable back there. That's what it was. And I seen the same thing that Bob seen. He didn't feel comfortable behind that line. But Pete Carmichael made the adjustment in the second half. Pete started rolling them outside of the pocket, and he started making plays. He started moving because what Pete did was like I explained it before, Pete Carmichael did 2 really good things. Number one, he got him behind that creaky ass offensive line, and then he rolled them out to cut the field in half, where it gave him 1 or 2 options on the run where he can find, and he started having success. Now, there was a one drive in particular, I mentioned the Abram Smith fumble drive, where the Saints get that touchdown, they win the game. It didn't end up that way, but that's something they need to improve upon. Now, he's a 4th round pick out of Notre Dame. Book had little preseason action as a rookie. His inexperience still shows he'll have opportunities to improve, but must develop quickly to justify the Saints keeping 3 quarterbacks on their active roster heading into the regular season. I already said that even if he shows out in balls, I still say that Ian Book probably going to end up on the practice squad because there is no reason, unless he burns up the next couple of games, there's no reason why to keep 3 quarterbacks on the active roster when you got Jameis, Andy Dalton, and then Taysom Hill out as an emergency third quarterback. We could free up that third quarterback spot and give it to a running back, wide receiver, extra offensive lineman, extra defensive lineman, extra linebacker, defensive back, whatever. All right, let's move on. Thumbs up to DeJon Dixon. Big old wide receiver Dixon led all NFL receivers, all Saints receivers, by pulling in 3 of his 4 targets for 33 yards. He was physical and precise with his routes, showed good concentration in traffic. That continued a strong start to training camp for Dixon, an undrafted rookie at a crowded position. Dixon had several impressive practices so far and has been running routes like a seasoned veteran. He showed the ability to get separation from coverage, something that a short-handed New Orleans receiving corps struggled to do last season. Separation, that puts me in the mind of who is it, Coach Tab? Who we talking about, Coach Tab? Who am I about to say? Coach Tab know who I'm talking about. Y'all know we talking about Marquez Callaway. That's the one thing Marquez got to get is gaining separation. Now, Dixon, to me, he's a big physical wide receiver. He has, what's up, Jay Sticks Jefferson? Who that to you, fam? Good to see you. Yeah, he was a really good and solid wide receiver during camp. And so far as watching him play, his speed is a bit deceptive. I knew that Dixon had some speed to him, but I didn't realize how fast he was. But he's a big physical guy. Listen, Traquan Smith dropped a touchdown. Anything could happen. I'm not saying that he pushes past Deontay Harty or Marquez Callaway, but most certainly Traquan Smith is on the bubble. And dropping touchdowns in the end zone, Traquan Smith will not endear you. Even when you look at guys like Kirk Merritt and DeJon Dixon right now, you know for a fact that those guys are ahead of guys like Kevin White. And Kevin White should be in the next round of roster cuts. I don't understand why he wasn't in these in the first roster cuts. So let's see what happens, man. But I'm pretty sure he will not survive the second round. You better watch out. All right, so the Saints look loaded at the wide receiver position this season. Pro Bowler Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, first round pick Chris Olave will be the top of the receivers. Dynamic Deontay Harty, liking taking the 4. Dixon has some work to do to overtake veterans Marquez Callaway. I don't think that happens, but Traquan Smith most certainly is an option. He must also hold off Easop Winston, which this was written before they released Easop Winston today. So Winston is not there. Kirk Merritt is there, and perhaps Easop Winston is gone because of the emergence of Kirk Merritt. Not to mention Quan Baker had a couple of plays in that game too. Remember, Quan Baker has to do a 6-game suspension once the regular season started because of PEDs. That happened to him a couple of weeks ago. A solid preseason debut and can only help them in that task. So indeed, so Traquan Smith dropping touchdowns, Kevin White not pretty much doing anything, and he does have an opportunity to step in that thing. Now, how many wide receivers do the Saints keep? Do they keep 6? You know, we already know they're going to keep at least 5. Deontay Harty's 4 and Marquez Callaway's 5. Do the Saints use that extra spot for that? We'll see. Thumbs down, backup offensive line, same thing. That's why I said the article says it well, because I agree with the same. It was the same look. After a dominant performance by the starting offensive front on opening drive, the unit struggled. The back of the backups, I call them the back of the backups. You know, they struggled with consistency the rest of the night. New Orleans managed just 203 total yards and 2 field goals after their 11 drives of the game. Now, the line performed solid for the running game, allowing the team to pick up 130 yards on the ground. And really, the truth is, like, if you don't have to be a top-notch offensive lineman, if you're running guys like Abram Smith, who basically running naked back there, and he was strong enough and aggressive enough, and if you know his running style, it's like he was shot out of a cannon. And how many times did you see him run through arm tackles? He was strong enough to bust through arm tackles to get to the second level where the linebackers were, and then lower his shoulder and run straight through the chest of defensive backs. You don't want to test out a guy like that. And then you put him in on the back end of the game where the defensive line is tired, and then he just pounding right on through him. So, yeah, they really did a good job as far as Abram Smith and Devontae Zigbo at first until he started to get going there. Tony Jones Jr. did a good, solid job, too, to shot him out. He said they struggled in pass protection, allowing 5 sacks and several pressures. Rookie first-round pick Trevor Penning was a mauler for the rushing attack, but must improve his consistency in pass protection to overtake James Hurst for the starting left tackle job. Second-year offensive lineman Landon Young struggled at times after a strong start training camp. Their backups at the interior spot didn't distinguish themselves well either, along with several inside pressures, failing to open up cutback lanes for the backs and key moments. Absolutely. They could not run screens. They couldn't do nothing. Like there was a screen set up with Nick, what's his name? Nick, I forgot what's the man's name. The brother of Zach Taylor, Nick Taylor, whatever his name. Not Zach Taylor. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The new center that we signed. Put his name in. Nick Martin. That's what his name. Nick Martin was moving out, and they tried. Listen, I was like, listen, if these guys can't set up running inside cuts to the left or right, running left or running right, they're going to struggle when you try to set up plays, when you moving them to set up screens or whatever else you want to do. They're going to struggle because they don't know what they're doing. So that's what happened with Nick Wright. What moved out, it was a play where Devontae Zibbo had Nick Wright made the correct play and made the stop. Devontae Zibbo could have had a gain there, but it just didn't happen. So they just didn't look right. And I was talking about it all through the game, man, that they looked awful. So yeah, the back of the backups, they stunk. Landon Young was awful. Pinion has to improve. Nick Martin didn't look good either at times. Now they started to look better once you seen them start to move the quarterback out on rollouts. So he find one or two guys, and of course they're going to look good then, right? But, outside of that, man, the run, they did a decent job at that, but man, they got to improve. Thumbs up to the defense. Shout out to them, to the defense as Chase Daniels did the damn thing. Chase Hansen. I said Chase Daniels. Chase Hansen. Until a 90-yard game, a drive by the Texans against the fourth-string New Orleans defense. In the final moments, the Saints defense played outstanding football. They allowed just 185 yards on 12 of the Houston Texans drives, intercepted 3 passes, didn't allow a third down conversion until almost 5 minutes into the third quarter. All solid stats. Linebacker Chase Hansen and Eric Wilson were the stars of a unit that started the game with mostly second stringers. Second-year cornerback Paulson Adebo, he looked really good. Veteran Justin Evans got him a pick in the game. Outstanding range while coming back from the Achilles injury. Saints had a hard time containing Texans running back Damian Pierce. The Florida product, he was having some success against him, who had 49 yards on just 5 carries. But remember, that was mostly the starting front 7 set out of the contest. And other than that, a few coverage breakdowns and third and fourth string defensive backs. The Saints defense looked in regular season form. Overall, he said he'd give the Saints defense a B, while the Saints offense a C-. The offense in particular has some things to clean up, but they expect to be much sharper with Michael Thomas, Kamara back in the lineup. The Saints will have joint scrimmages against the Packers this week before playing Green Bay in the second preseason game on Saturday. And New Orleans must release 5 players to get the NFL's mandated 85-player deadline by Tuesday afternoon. So there you go. All right, so shout out to Bob Rose, man, on that, man. Bob handled the business, and that's why we love Bob, man. I'm going to have to get Bob back on the show, man. When I talked to him last time, he was sick, man. His family had the C-19. So I'm going to have to get back in touch. Bob, if you're listening, holler at me, man, so we can get you back on up in here. All right, so that'll do it, fam, for that portion of it. And, man, let me tell you something, man. Yeah, it's a lot of improvement. We'll see what they do. And they have the joint scrimmages with Green Bay. We'll see how it all looks when they go up there and lay it down for this Saturday night. And we'll see how it all meshed together. But yes, indeed. It's getting close to cut time. We've seen several moves. We reported on that today. So we'll see. Now I take a few questions from the family members before I jet up out of here. I'm going to bounce out here at 8:30. So if you got any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. And I get to them before I dirk out at 11:30. All right, Jesse Jackson, keep hope alive. What's up, fam? Mont Dog, what's up, fam? Says Callaway is the 4th receiver. All right, Hart says, I'm glad you brought up Kevin White. All right, Hart says, you noticed from the game they used him as a gunner. Yeah, I seen that, bro. I seen that. He was always the first person to return, man, but never could finish the time. Yeah, when you get there, you got to make the play. So, yeah, I see him using them at the gunner, but that's not enough to keep him on the squad. You and I know that, fam. So, yeah. All right. Irvin says Traquan is turning into a slower Ted Ginn. My goodness. Yes, indeed. Ted Ginn was a beast when we first got him, and then it was a slow pathway to hell. with Tay again, man, by that third year, man. Yeah, Coach Tab, yes, Q, I knew you were talking about, but on this one, and only catch he did break away from that receiver. Since Callaway is the 4th or 5th on the depth chart, I think he'll be good. We'll see. And then once again, he does have an opportunity the next 2 games, to make a impression. But remember, Traquan Smith, man, they got some stiff competition on his back. You know, you dealing with Kirk Merritt that's pushing him throughout camp, and DeJohn Dixon's a guy there. And Traquan Smith's a guy they're familiar with, but he has to show, he has to make, no wide receiver that's trying to make the team has the cushion or the comfort or the whatever you want to call it, to drop touchdowns, you know, like he had that ball in his hand. You got to bring that in, man. That's a touchdown, you know, you got to bring that in, you know? So, you know, like I said, there's still a lot of time. All right. What's up, Big Bo Hoffa? Big shout out to you, fam. Good to see you. I see you, Ramsey. Shout out to you, fam. Thank you for being here. St. John Butler, I see you, fam. Much love to you. Barbara, how you doing, baby? Much love to you. Good to see you in the chat. Brother Seth, I see you, fam. Shout out to you as well. Debbie, good to see you. Brother Marlon, I see you, fam. Shout out to you as well. He says, Book just might be a good practicer. Made that word up. I feel you, though. I got you. All right, Brother Jermaine, I see you, fam. Shout out to you. Ryan, what's happening, fam? Good to see you, bro. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Big Bull says, Big Q, do you think Andy Dalton will get more time in the preseason? And do you think Taysom Hill will get a chance at QB? I don't know. I mean, Taysom didn't play because I think he's still working through the injuries. So I don't think Taysom plays in the preseason as a quarterback. I don't even think he might suit up in the preseason. I think, you know, they know what they got in Taysom Hill. He's still working his way back from injury. So he kind of a little banged up there. So I would have to say no to that, bro. I'd be surprised if they do. As far as Andy Dalton, I think I don't think the Saints are going to give Andy Dalton. They already know what they got with him. So maybe a series or something like that they'll give him, and then they'll move him out. And then you'll probably see more of Ian Book. And if they feel comfortable, a Costello might get an opportunity to get in there and to see what he can do for a few series. So, yeah, I still think they would do Andy Dalton like they did him in the first preseason matchup. With Jameis out, you don't want to get Dalton shook up. I heard, let him get some time, get him on up out of there. You know what I'm saying? You know what you got in him. You don't want to get him hurt. Save him and put the other guy in Andy Dalton. Let him get his little shine on. You know what I'm saying? So if I was the Saints, that's how I would handle it, man. Just get them a little juice in there, get them a little, and then pull them guys up out of there because you don't want them to get banged up, Then everybody would be mad if that happened. Thank you, Big Bull. Jesse says Q is PJ Burnt Toast Williams. A 53-man count. Is he on the fit? Do we think he's going to be on the active roster? I think he will be, because PJ. I mean, he's improved. I'm gonna give PJ some love. I called him the handshake coordinator. In previous reincarnations, PJ did get burnt, but I think a lot of the improvement in PJ's game was because you see a lot of our coaches, like Coach Richard, who's a really good special teams coach, because he's a guy that's personable. He's a motivator. He gets excited when they make plays like he's out there. And I think they just needed a change of scenery. And Coach Richard came and he took all those guys and elevated their games just like this. I mean, guys that were lacking confidence and they just wasn't seeing what the other guy was teaching. They needed to change. Coach Richard came in that thing and changed the whole dynamic, had those guys going from here to up here. They all took a step up in the development, and PJ was one of those guys that took a step up in their development. Look what Coach Richard was able to do with guys like Marshawn Lattimore in his first year. Guys like Paulson Adebo that came in there and shined, and stepped up, and undrafted guys that was handling the business. He really helped those guys. And I see PJ is one of those guys that he really helped. He helped Ken Crawley. Ken Crawley was balling before he got hurt last year. Y'all remember that? So yeah, I think PJ does make it because of his ability to play two positions. The Saints value that. All right, thank you for that, Jesse. All right, Tron says that boy trash can juice. Who is that, bro? Who are you talking about? Probably Kevin White. That's probably who you're talking about, Tron. All right, Mocha said I didn't hear anybody complain about Cesar Ruiz, so he must be improving, which is great. Yeah, Cesar, he had a pretty solid out, and the whole Saints offensive line played well. They did. Now, once again, it's against the Houston Texans, and that's not saying a lot. Well, that was their first teamer, so it'll be a better challenge to see what they do against the first teamers for the Green Bay Packers. You know, that's be a stiffer challenge to see if they can duplicate that success in the first series. So it's just something to watch out for, you know. All right, good to see you now. All right. Yeah, Wallace said back in the day, Saints used to keep 7 wide receivers. Yeah, yep. I don't think maybe 5, maybe 6 if you don't keep the quarterback. We'll see. You know, we'll see. All right. Yeah. All right. Any more questions, fam? Got about 10 minutes before shutdown. Hart says if the starters play, probably would only be in a series in the third game against the Chargers. Usually, you know how they do it, and they could change it up, but you get a series in the first, maybe a series in the second game, and then the third game, no starters play. You see? Then they roll out all these other guys, but you might see a lot of time with Penning getting a lot of reps in the preseason because they're trying to get these guys together. So Penning is a guy that you're going to see out there a lot. He needs some help. He needs to get out there and get used to the speed of the game. That's why his reps is so high. The Saints really need to get him some live game action so he can get used to the speed of the game. So we'll see how it all goes and roll out. My dog, what's up, fam? Says Traquan dropped that touchdown. They should have took his jersey on the sideline and put it on the mega bus and send his ass back to New Orleans. Huh? Yep. We're gonna see, bro. Jeffrey says, big boy, the news is Taysom enjoying humble pie at tight end. Yeah. He is. I'm not happy to be doing this. Listen, bro. If it wasn't for the Saints, man, you wouldn't have a job in the NFL. If you wanted to be a quarterback, you would not be on an active roster right now. It was Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints that gave Taysom Hill light. It was Sean Payton that gave him an opportunity to be a quarterback. You're just not good enough to be an NFL quarterback, Taysom. You had a fair shot to do it. He just couldn't do it, man. And listen, I was cheering for Taylor. Taysom is a smart dude, man, but playing the quarterback position, that's something else. When you going against a guy like Jameis Winston that was playing the quarterback position since high school, and he played at a high level in high school to college, won a national championship, became a first overall draft pick, and played all those reps for Tampa Bay all those years, then sat behind the Saints, learned the game cerebrally, then came back, earned the job, and you trying to fight against that guy? Man, listen, that is a tall order, and even though you play quarterback at BYU, it's a different dynamic. You found a niche as a guy in the NFL. You're not working at a paper mill. You're not driving dump trucks like some of us are, moving around doing all this other kind of stuff like regular folk. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you are playing in the NFL and making a lot of money. So buck up, shut the you-know-what up, and do your goddamn job for millions of dollars to play a children's sport. I mean, we can't say it more plainer than that. If it wasn't for the Saints, bro, if you was trying to stick to being a quarterback, you wouldn't be in the NFL, bro. I mean, I'm not trying to, I love Taysom Hill. I think he's terrific, but I'm just keeping it a buck. I got to tell you the real deal. You and I both know that if it wasn't for the Saints and Coach Payton having that imagination to use your athleticism in those different ways, you wouldn't be nowhere. It's through him that other people see value in you because of what he made you in his system, but it's not as a quarterback. And he gave you chances. Even when Jameis won the job last year, Payton was still running Taysom Hill out there to throw balls. He gave him every opportunity to win the job. He just couldn't do it. And he had Sean Payton as his number one supporter, and it still didn't work. So, I mean, just do the job at tight end, bro, and be happy that you got a job on the NFL team. Let me tell you something. Straight up and down, bro. All right, shout out. Youngblood says, Q, with Eastside Winston being released, who you think will be the backup kick returner beyond Deontay Harty? Well, bro, listen, Eastside gone, and they used him a lot in that preseason game. So I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised by the Eastside Winston release, and I'm really surprised by that, bro. I really am. But maybe this is an opening for guys like Rashid Shaheed. They didn't release him. Rashid Shaheed is a guy that they liked a lot that they brought in. Maybe they give him an opportunity to do something. Remember, this brother had 11 special team touchdowns in his college career. He's exceptional. He's fast. He has vision. So maybe this is an opening for him, to see what he can do. So let's see what Rashid Shaheed can do if they move Eastside Winston out there, because I like Eastside Winston. I was really surprised by that. Ryan says DB slapped the ball out of Traquan's hand. Someone punched the ball out of Abram Smith's hand as he was falling down to the ground. Yeah, Abram had it in his arm, and he was bracing himself going down, and the guy punched it out of his hand. So you're right. And Traquan Smith had the ball in his hands like this. And if I remember, the guy was on his back, and the guy did interfere with the ball. But you know, but Traquan, why people are upset about Traquan dropping the ball, because if you watch the tape, thank you. Appreciate you, OG Gotti. Thank you for subscribing, bro. Welcome to the Great Saint Think Tank. Shout out and salute to OG Gotti. If you go back and watch the drop play, and I went back and watched it, Traquan Smith had the ball right here in his hands, just like this. And the guy came from behind and kind of popped at the ball to kind of knock it out of his hands the last minute. But you know, let me ask you this. And I know I'm not saying that Traquan is this receiver as Mike Williams. How would Mike Thomas, our can't guard Mike, how would Mike Thomas have caught that ball? Or Jarvis Landry? How would they have caught that ball? Would that guy would have popped the ball out of Mike Thomas and Jarvis Landry hands? Now, I know these are two separate receivers, but I'm saying that they know that you got somebody around you. It's a way you got to reel that thing in there. Now, Mike Thomas will put his hands on the ball and secure it as tough as he can, because he had the ball was nestled in his hands. And if I check right, he had on sticky gloves. He had on sticky gloves. Them gloves that they wear have stick 'em. I ain't gonna say stick 'em, but they got a substance on it which helped them catch the ball. They let him do that. So when he had that ball in his hands, he could have brought that thing in. So if Mike Thomas or Jarvis Landry even Chris Olave was catching that ball, now we all know, like if you watch in the footage in training camp, Chris Olave had to catch balls way worse than that. Remember when Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was on Chris Olave? And Chris Olave caught the ball, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had his arm up in there, and he had to still hold on, twisting and hold on. He still caught the ball, had his feet in, and just went down and said, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's a wherewithal to know when somebody around you and what you need to do to secure the ball and get the hell out the way. That's all I'm saying. Now, in that instance, Traquan Smith missed it, but Jarvis Landry, Michael Thomas, even Chris Olave would have caught that difficult passes. That separates the really good wide receivers from the rest, is what I'm saying, my brother. You get me? Is that you knew a Michael Thomas would snag that ball if the guy was on his back. Even a Marquez Callaway would have snagged that ball with that guy on his back, because he knew he was there. You know, he knew he was there. So you know when the guy around you can't play with it, you got to secure that ball and bring it in instantaneously. And it get to your hands. That's why they got the rule. If it touches your hands, you got to catch it. So, you know, that's all I'm saying about Traquan Smith, is that, man, that ball touch your goddamn hands, you secure it and bring it in instantaneously. Don't leave it out there because it's a threat. Like I said, it's catching these balls where guys are interfering you. That's a whole nother level of the game. And we'll see how he does on it. Shout out to A-Dub, the prop killer. Shout out to you, A-Dub. Welcome to the Great Saint Think Tank, A-Dub. I salute you, bro. The prop killer is in the building. Shout out to you, fam. So anyway, let me get a few more before I bounce up out of this thing. All right. Yeah, Mike Dolph say he got huge hands. So I mean, is his hands bigger than Mike Thomas? So does Traquan Smith have smaller hands than Mike Thomas? I don't know about that. All I know is that Mike would have caught it, Jarvis would have caught it, Chris Olave would have caught it, Deontay Hardy would have caught it. You know, Marquez Callaway would have caught that ball. So what I'm just saying is, it's a contested ball, and some of the times you're gonna have to catch contested balls with guys swiping at that thing. You get me? That's all I'm saying, my brother. You know, I'm not saying he's on their level, but I'm saying at some point you got to be able to know that separates the wide receivers, the really good ones, from the rest of them. You got to catch contested passes, because that's how it is in the NFL. Inside L, what's up, bro? Said, nope, it would have been a PI or a TD. Facts. Yeah, you got to catch the ball. You ain't going to get no love from nobody. If it touches your hand and you got sticky gloves on, you expected to catch it. And if you go back and watch the footage, he had it and he should have caught that ball, bro. No lie. Uncle Paula says QN Book and Kevin White should be cut. They don't have it. All right, well, Uncle Paul, they play bad. They got to make the adjustment. DJ 5047, shout out to your fam for smacking on the like button, baby. Shout out to DJ 5047. Welcome to the Sports Coma. A-Dub, the prop killer. Welcome to the Sports Coma. And OG Gotti. Welcome to the Coma. Shout out to the fam, man. Thank y'all for being here and hitting the subscribe button. All right, shout out to my dog Inside of L. But anyway, fam, let me get one more in there. Tragic said it's so easy to catch a ball with NFL gloves. I don't know how they drop passes. I was catching with hands when I was in the second grade. Yeah, bro, that's what I'm telling you. That's a part of the game too, bro. If you watched the NFL, they let them wear these gloves and they got a substance on it that help them catch the football. So like Tragic says, I don't know, you know. And I don't know the Traquan Smith hand size. I know Mike got big hands. I know Traquan Smith can catch the ball. It's just at points and times, he just falls short at times. And that's been the story of Traquan Smith's life. At times, he just falls short. And when you're in that situation, you've got to catch that football. Hook or crook, you've got to make that catch. You know what I mean? All right. Look, Bonola Ball said LaJordan Humphrey would have caught it too. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. All right. What's up, Randolph? Shout out to my dog, Randolph. Good to see you, fam. Shout out to Randolph, man. All right. So anyway, fam. Yeah. I think that's everything, man. I think I got all the questions right there. Shout out to the fam, man. And Irvin says, make Traquan Smith a backup safety. Yeah, he probably end up dropping that too, bro. Ramsey said, hey, Q, how about Romo, our kicker? Need to see his range in the next game. No, they released him. I'm sorry, Ramsey. They put Romo, John Parker Romo, on the street. That was some of the part of the recent reports. We covered that early in the show, where they put John Parker Romo, the backup kicker for the Saints. They put him in the street. So no, he's not even on the team no more. So yeah, we ain't gonna see him no more. 504 Coach said I'm done with Traquan. GM Kev says, Q, I remember when you said they used the remote. They used the remote to remove. Not to remove the goalpost, not remove the goalpost. Kevin, what you talking about, bro? Not to remove. How you remove the goalpost? No, bro, not to remove it. Damon says, Big Q, I'm late as hell, but I'll catch the replay. He says, but what's up with that Bostic signing? Dude was decent. Yeah, he a solid linebacker, my brother. I'm not mad about the John Bostic signing, but like I asked the family members, what does that mean to Zach Bowen? What does it mean to Pete Werner? You know what I'm saying? Is that indicative of they think Werner is going to be out for the rest of? I think Pete Werner probably not going to play this preseason. I mean, I think they're going to get him healthy for the regular season. I don't know what's going on with Kevin White, to be a buck with you. They're not really talking about it like it don't matter. And I wouldn't be surprised they put Kevin White not Kevin White. See, it's this Freudian slip. I'm thinking about Kevin White. Really, I'm thinking about Zach Bowen. But it could be both of those guys could be put in the street because Zach Bowen's not giving us anything. He's off to the sideline. Nobody knows what's going on with him. He is in zero impact on the linebacker room, which you see guys like Chase Hansen making a name for themselves. You see guys like Bostic come here. So, I mean, the Saints, for real, man, it's looking like something, man. So we'll see. It's only time to tell. All right. Randolph says Traquan about to go out and have a good weekend game. Watch the comments next week. Yeah, Traquan got to clean it up, bro. I've been talking Traquan up this whole preseason, Randolph. The preseason and the offseason, I've been talking up Traquan Smith, and he go up in there and drop the ball. So it's still 2 games remaining. That doesn't say that he'll make it. But at the end of the day, I expect Kevin White to go before he do because he done more than Kevin White did. But then again, Kevin White did catch that 1 touchdown in there, and Traquan's been pretty solid in camp. He's been blocking well. But my goodness, man, I mean, once again, it's also the thing about Kirk Merritt. As we trying to keep Traquan Smith in that thing, but what about Kirk Merritt? Kirk Merritt's been doing everything right. And if you have Deontay Harty here and Marquez Callaway, and if you got 6 wide receivers and Traquan Smith's dropping touchdown balls in the end zone with sticky gloves and Kirk Merritt's balling out in camp and in preseason, then what do? Do you keep an inconsistent Traquan, or do you move on to Kirk Merritt? There's only a handful of spots, and you have to do what you're supposed to do to get the business taken care of. So, I mean, they got guys pushing on them. Traquan Smith got to handle the business, man. You got to. Coach Tab says, Q, Eric Wilson was good at linebacker. You didn't mention him today. Yeah, I talked about him, Coach Tab. I mentioned Eric Wilson. I talked about Eric Wilson and Chase Hansen. Both of those guys had a pretty good outing in that first game. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Eric Wilson had a solid game. Chase Hansen stepped up and handled the business. He was flashing, but Wilson was there. And truth be told, that was the X factor. I said, what does Eric Wilson do for us? He's a veteran that been in the game for 6 years. He's a guy in that room that's doing, and prior to Demario Davis, he was the most veteran guy that we had on our team besides John Bostic now, who been in the game for 10 years. So you bring him in there. So, yeah, but shout out to Eric Wilson, man. He was handling the business too. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Zach Bowen, fam. Y'all guess as good as mine on that. Kai said the big key for us is to avoid injuries and stay healthy. That's all I care about. This is a good point here. Great point. All right. Yeah, great point. All right. Yeah, and Coach Tab says Merritt and Dixon can reach Traquan and White. DA need to make it happen. Yeah, well, DA already mentioned Kirk Merritt, that he flashed. So if Traquan Smith not handling the business, cut law says that you keep the player that's doing the business and you get rid of the one that's not. So if, it's Merritt is applying pressure to be here, and then he does have special team abilities too. So, he got speed too. So we'll see. All right, Damon say, hey, Q, what's up with that Landon guy? He says, I haven't been hearing much. Landon Young had a real tough game yesterday, bro. Landon Young, not yesterday, Saturday night. He had a really tough outing, man. He was getting ran around. He looked like what Kelvin Throckmorton looked like last year. He looked like a turnstile out there. He did. And on the edge, he was getting ran around. He didn't look comfortable. That's, and I understand like their first game similar. Well, he was played sometime. Last year he was recovering from that broken foot, but it's almost like he ain't getting anything. It's like getting used to the speed of the game. That's the thing. How fast those guys are. Getting used to the speed of the game and then making the adjustment live time and living in that. I think that's a part of the game that those guys have to learn to understand that, man, those guys are fast coming off those edges, and you are going to have to deal with that, especially if you want to be a tackle. Just like with Big Trevor Penning, who wants to be a blindside tackle. You are going to have to step your game up and get better at, because you're going to see you're going to see some sports at that left tackle position, some of the best in the business that he'll have to block against. And the Texans gave him fits. Imagine what Green Bay going to do, because they're a little bit better. And then that competition goes up and up and up and up. So, James Hurst has seen a lot of that. Landon Young still has a lot to learn. And they're going to give him a lot of reps to help him out in the preseason. You better believe it. All right. Randolph says Traquan and Callaway get out and Merritt Dixon make the 53. Okay, you think Marquez Callaway getting cut, Randolph? Is that what you're saying, bro? Kai says with Marcus Mayhem serving his suspension at the start of the season. Marcus Mayhem serving his suspension at the start of the season. Should Justin Evans take over his position once he's going? I see what you're saying. Once he gets back, or I think it's Marcus May's job. It's Tyrann Mathieu and it's Marcus May's job. They're assigned to be the starting safeties. With him being suspended, whenever he does be suspended, maybe he even appeals it. I don't know if he was like, man, I'm gonna appeal this. I ain't going for this. Whatever they give him his 3 games and they appeal it. I don't know. It's still the appeal card, so we might not be missing them right away. He might appeal it whenever it comes. It was supposed to be sometimes in August this stuff was supposed to happen, but there hadn't been a report on it yet, so we'll just have to wait and see how it develops. But let's say if it's a suspension of 3 games, and people are anticipating it as, then Justin Evans is making a case to be the guy that backs him up. Of course, you could throw P.J. Williams in there, but it's either going to be one or the other. Alante Taylor is dealing with a hip flexor, so I don't know if you put him back there. But I'm thinking Justin Evans probably would be a guy to be back there to replace Marcus May for whatever time he's out. That would be my call. I don't think it's Sorensen. Maybe it's PJ. Maybe if they like PJ, because PJ has been there in the system a lot longer. Maybe they go with him. But Justin Evans wouldn't be a bad call in my opinion, man. He looks really good out there. And he's a solid safety with a lot of with good speed. He'll hit you. And his issue was injuries. He's finally healthy. He playing with a chip on his shoulder. Y'all seen him get the pick in the game. I was like, Justin Evans could be somebody to help us out. So I wouldn't be upset about it if they move Justin Evans in there. But they do have options with PJ Williams as well. So yeah. Our heart says, Q, do you feel like DA is more transparent with reporters than Sean was? Yeah, I think, he is. At times you can see DA get a little upset because they start asking the same questions and he'll say again. You notice that? The big difference I noticed between the two is that he said situational and not situational, like Coach Payton do. He said situational. That's gone. So it's situational now, and Dennis Allen bring it back to the basics. But outside of that, you can see him at times get a little annoyed when the reporters ask the same questions, and he would have to say again, and they ask questions about people. He's like, well, we have to be able to be patient and da. So he's doing a really good job in addressing the reporters. But that sometimes you can see him get a little peeved because they keep asking the same question because probably the guy wasn't listening, and he'll ask the same question in a different way. And he said, well, again, as opposed to I just answered that question, making the reporter feel like you need to answer. You stop looking in your phone and listen. Listen, I already answered. That other guy right there asked me that. He said again. So he's been really good with him, man. So, yeah. But that was one of the big differences I know, that he said situational and not situational. That's a good thing. Ramsey Hickey, do you think Tom Brady will play this year since he's done? Yeah, I think he plays. I'm not surprised. That don't worry me one bit about Tom Brady not playing in the preseason, man. Tom Brady doesn't need the preseason. All right. Okay, John. Thank you, John. I will hit him up. Thank you for that. So, Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't worry me in the slightest that he'll be out for the preseason. We know he don't like to play the preseason anyway, and he'll be ready when the regular season comes. So him taking the time out for his family during preseason, no big whoop to me. Not no big whoop at all. I'm hoping that he'll be ready, and I'm confident that he'll be ready for the regular season. He'll be there. L says, Q, you think Justin Evans takes May's place if he's out? Yes, I do. I think he out. The Saints have options. You can get either PJ Williams or Justin Evans. But I would say I like Evans there. I do like Evans there. I like Evans at that position. I do. I think he's a guy that can go out there and play the position to help us out. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad if you put him there. So yeah, L, I would say yes on that. All right, yeah. Yeah, Randolph says yes. He says he's not had a good camp, even though he's caught the past Saturday. All camp, Dixon, Merritt, and Hardy, as well as Traquan. Okay, thank you. It might be a surprise, Randolph. Okay, we'll keep an eye on it, my friend. Thank you for that. All right, GM Kev. You know what, Kev? I was supposed to do that 2 years ago, man. I'm slacking in my pimping, bro. I was supposed to do that 2 years ago, bro, to do what you said, the press pass, to do all that type of stuff. I got all the information, man. All the information, bro. I got it. I was supposed to send all that stuff in, bro. I just been slacking in my game, bro. But I'm going to pick up the slacking, bro, this year. I'm going to surprise y'all this year. And going into next year. I'm going to surprise y'all. Watch. Y'all going to see. And shout out to all of the Patreon and the YouTube membership family. Because of y'all contributions, y'all helping to create that there. So this upcoming year into next year, I'm going to surprise you guys. So I'm going to let you know all that coming down the line. All right, Depresh. I hope I said that right. Depresh. Shout out to Depresh for smashing on the subscribe button. Much love to you, friend, and as we get several new of our family members. So salute to our new family. I hope I'm saying that right. Depresh. Shout out to Depresh. Who that to you? Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Shout out. All right. Brian says Costello is quarterback that we signed. What's up with this guy? Is he going to make the roster, Big Q? I don't think he makes the roster. I think you might see him this next preseason game. You get Andy Dalton one series, then you get Ian Book for several series and the second and third quarter. And maybe Costello plays in this game. Remember, he didn't play in the first game because I don't think he knew enough of the system for him to put him in there. But perhaps this time around he does play because the Saints is getting really close to cuts. And he didn't make the first round of cuts as it stands right now. Of course, we won't know, that the cuts don't finalize until Tuesday. And we know the Saints made several moves today that we reported on in the stream. So they might switch some stuff up between here and now. But as it stands, Costello's still on the roster. So obviously, am I thinking like sooner or later between this week he has to play to justify to see what he is going to do because time is running out. He got to camp late. The Saints brought him in because of the Jameis Winston thing. He's 6'5", 235, 240 pounds, can throw the hell out the ball, has decent accuracy, just don't know enough of the Saints system to play in a preseason game. This time around, this against Green Bay, you might see him in the Green Bay game. You might just well see him. But make the active 53-man roster, that's a long shot, my friend. Thanks for the question. All right. He said, okay, Randolph says Baker. All right, shout out to you. All right, yeah. And Tramal says, Q, you get a press pass. Now, Peyton would have blocked you. No, I don't think Coach Peyton would have blocked me from getting the press pass, but them guys know who we are. They know who all of us are, man. They know who we are. They know. You don't think them people, listen, let me tell you something. That's one of the biggest con jobs that's thrown out there. It's like the people you watch on TV, like the entertainers and actors and athletes, stuff like that. You think they don't watch them? They don't pay attention to regular folk? The smart ones do, because they realize that where their money coming from. The money comes from the regular folk. If it wasn't for the intention and the love of the regular folk giving you their hard-earned money, you wouldn't have all that money. The NFL is a creation that comes from the sum total of people that love football and that's supporting their clubs. So you get the tax breaks, you get the people building the stadiums and the practice facilities for free, and them not paying you back none of that. It's supposed to be like, okay, we gave you all this money here. You're supposed to give me the money back and perhaps give us a cut on the deals to go up in there because we built it and you ain't put nearly that much money into the thing. And sometimes they might put half of it or a quarter of the money. You fit the bill. You pay the utilities. So for that, let's make it an even arrangement, but it is not. And they had a lot of old time reporters that used to report on the bad deal between cities and their football teams, because a lot of the NFL stuff is run crookedly. Why they hide behind the shield? That's why it's the shield, because they got to hold it up to stop all the bullshit that people throwing at them. Sooner or later, it's going to turn into a sword. But, I digress. What I'm saying is, smart people that know about that have their money, they get it from the people, pay attention to the people. You got to. Because without you, none of this goes. None of that happens. None of that happens without you and doubt your money, your support. None of it happens. None of it. Not one thin dime of it happens because of you. They're rich because of you. That's what it comes down to. And the smart ones realize that that's why they give back. That's why they show you love. They take time to write those signatures and take pictures with you, because they know deep down inside that it was because of you that they get to live that dream, to have that big house or to take care of their family in an illustrious fashion because of you, because of you, because of you, because of you. And I know that. And I realize that. That's why I tell the rest of the people, it all starts with you. You the dynamic that drives the whole thing. You the life essence and the blood of the whole goddamn thing. And most of them realize that. I know the best ones do. The Cams, the DeMarios, the Jameises, and most of those guys without the big names know it's because of you that drive the whole thing. That's why they stand out there and take the pictures and the autographs and do all that stuff and go out there and do the charity work. To be honest with you, part of the charity work is because they're good. And the other part of it is the protecting money from taxation. That's what I'm keeping it a buck. Everywhere. If you sign up with an NFL contract and you go into the game, the first thing they're going to tell you to do is find a charity organization to protect your money from heavy taxation. It serves as twofold. You can protect your money from taxation, heavy taxation anyway. And then on top of that, you get the good press of having to keep off or collect or send money to a worthwhile cause. So not only do you get the tax breaks, but you also get the positive media coverage of doing something positive. See, this is business. This is all business. This is business. So I know the game, man. I know the game. I studied the game, man. I ain't I've been doing this for a while. I know the game. So those who hear me know that man know what the fuck he talking. Excuse me. I'm sorry, but they hear me and say that dude is real deal. He know what he talking about. Let me tell you something. He know. So like I said, man, the bottom line is that, the real keep it real. And that's the bottom line, man. That's real. So you drive it. That's all I'm saying. That's what the Great Saint think tank concept is. And for those who don't understand that, like the ABs, the Antonio Browns of the world, they lost in the sauce. They are. The narcissism grabs them. You ain't nothing without the people, bro. If we would stop watching you today, you would just go off into obscurity. We don't buy your crappy music, and we don't want to listen to you talk about how great you is and how you won't sit up there and, I wish I could watch myself like you watch. What kind of bull crap is this? Who the hell you think you are? Who the hell you think you are? And this narcissism grabs a hold of some of these guys, but shout out to the ones that got control of their minds and doing the positive stuff, and lost the rest of these dudes that's not trapped up in trapped in their own sauce, in their own mind, thinking that they something that they're not. Some of those guys is, and they don't really come up out of that stuff till they crash and boing. You know, so I mean, it is what it is, man. And time will always tell, man. That's what it goes. But anyway, I done spent enough time. I said I was gonna get out here at 8:30, man. I done gave you another 19 minutes. But listen, man, shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate all y'all for being up in here, man. As well, Randolph, I'm with you on that, bro. That Ricky Jackson number should have been retired. You don't see nobody wearing number 9, by the way. Nobody's wearing number 9 on the Saints team. Ricky Jackson number should be retired. I think every last one of our Hall of Famers numbers should be retired. Now, you might see a guy wear it during preseason, but when regular season comes, you can't wear the number. You know, so I think every last one of our Hall of Famers, that's Willie Roaf, that's Martin Anderson, that's Ricky Jackson, that's Sam Mills, all of those guys. I'm talking about the Hall of Famers in the big Hall of Fame. All of those guys' numbers should be retired and hung up in the banners. I think some of them are already up there, but those numbers need to be retired and never to be worn again. Now, you can wear it in preseason, but never in regular season. That's what I think about that. So I agree with you on that, man. I agree with you on that. So with that being said, number 8 says Barbara. She's saying, what you saying? Archie Manning number 2. She says that too. All right, Hoodie, shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. Yeah. Shout out to Hoodie, man. Good to see you in the chat. What's up, Booming? Who that to you, fam? Good to see you in the chat. So with that being said, fam, K-Man, shout out to you, brother. Rich Rules, I see you. Trey, what's up, baby? Shout out to you, Mocha. I see you, fam. Shout out to you and all the rest of the fam, man. Now, y'all know I love y'all, man. Y'all be safe, man. I will return. What's up, Zach? I will return tomorrow. Tuesday is the Patreon Tuesday for the family members. We're going to be covering the latest Saints news and notes. They will be practicing again. We'll get the latest scoop on that. If they have any more signings or anything, because they had a rash moves going ahead of the Tuesday cut down date as they're supposed to get down to 85. We'll see if they make any other moves. We'll have some interviews and stuff like that on our Patreon show. So if you want to help out the platform, a lot of big things popping this year, going into next year, family. I can't really speak on it right now because I don't want to take the energy out of it. But I promise you, a lot of big things are popping, snapping, and happening with the platform, man. And we're going to have a lot of great things. So if you want to help out, monetarily speaking, you can join us as a YouTube member on our platform, or you can go to patreon.com. There's a lot of content there. You can see that and our news show On Q with Big Q's there. And we're going whatever else, we got a lot of stuff shaking and popping. So if you want to help out, you can do it there. Or go into our link tree in the description section below and check out all of those links and all that. Subscribe to our website, thewhothatdaily.com. Go to the merch shops. We got merch shops, several merch shops with thousands of all kind of shirts, cups, hats, posters. We doing it big over there. So that'll be in a link tree. Link in the description section below. Listen, what's up, Big Ant? Good to see you, brother Greg. Good to see you. All right. What's up, Trey? Trey Platinum in the building. Shout out to you, fam. Thank you for being here. What's up, brother Greg? And all the fams. So with that being said, I'm going to chime out on that. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all popping in. I'm going to holler at y'all on Tuesday on the Patreon special. Much love. Who that? And I'm out.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Daily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform stores where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and